Amen. What it is, this is Damon. I am your host, and this is By Any Means. There go the Cash App. Show your boys some love. I appreciate all y'all who've been showing me love, though. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There go the PayPal at Dame by any means. Y'all see that heart with the dollar sign at the bottom? Well, that's the super thanks. You could press that at any time your heart desire. Say it with me, y'all. I don't care if you leave $1, $10, $1,000. It is much, much, much appreciated, y'all. I told y'all. Yeah, Dean was right again. It's funny, man. Y'all went on these rants for weeks and months talking about Jaron Ennis is ducking Virgil Ortiz, who already ducked the man twice, and you wanted Jaron Ennis to go to Saudi Arabia and be the co-main fight before Shakur Stevenson and Kid Austin. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, but whatever. Just to come to find out that Jaron Ennis and Eddie Hearn is doing everything that I told y'all Jaron Ennis and Eddie Hearn was going to do. Shout out to all the people that asked me, Dean, well, who he going to fight next? He not going to get a unification. They not going to fight him. Well, it's looking like it's a great chance that that was wrong. And if it doesn't go through, it's the same situation that Tank Davis was in with Lomachenko. That is not Gervonta Davis' fault that Vasil Lomachenko backed out of negotiations, and it will not be Jaron Ennis' fault if Amontes Stanionis and Mario Barrios decide not to take this fight because they are in negotiations right now. And you might say, Dean, well, why you say that? Well, because both of them have come out publicly and said that they are willing to fight Jaron Ennis. Mario Barrios said it first, and if you haven't subscribed to YSL Media, you might want to go check that channel out because Amontes Stanionis has an interview with YSL Media talking about how willing he is to fight Jaron Ennis, and that the other champions at the division, meaning Barrios and Brian Norman Jr., need to stop making excuses for not making unifications happen. So then if Amontes Stanionis turns around and doesn't fight Jaron Ennis, then we clearly know who the Ducks really are. And why y'all owe Jaron Ennis even a bigger apology, I might add to this. Virgil Ortiz was ducking Amontes Stanionis. Most of us had Amontes Stanionis beating Virgil Ortiz. I think Amontes Stanionis is better than Virgil Ortiz. Why? I think he's better defensively, and I also think that he's just more put together. He's more strategic. He's more fundamentally sound than a Virgil Ortiz, and you know that got exposed when he fought Boachuk. The differences between Boachuk and Amontes Stanionis is Stanionis is not going to be uncomfortable fighting on the inside. Stanionis is not going to gas out after 9-10 rounds. Stanionis punch resistant, I believe, is better than Boachuk. I just believe all the way around the board, besides power, and they power is not that different from each other, I think that Amontes Stanionis is just a better all-around fighter than Virgil Ortiz. And like I keep telling y'all, I don't know when Virgil Ortiz got this good and was this top guy that you just have to fight. When the guy that Jaron Ennis currently is trying to fight, I got beating Virgil Ortiz the same way I got Jaron Ennis beating Virgil Ortiz. So y'all owe Jaron Ennis an apology because he's literally trying to do everything that y'all said he wasn't going to do. Like I told y'all, see, life is about when you say something, you got to stand on it. People were saying, "Dean, you don't know what he going to do," and I told all of y'all what he was going to do. Now you got to say I was wrong. Y'all was wrong. Y'all said, Dean, you don't know if he's going to negotiate and try to get a unification and all of that. Well, the lie detector determined that I was right about that. Like I told y'all, people close to the situation was telling me. But y'all don't like to listen. Y'all hard-headed. Same way y'all was hard-headed about Devin. Same way y'all was hard-headed about Shakur Stevenson. Same way y'all was hard-headed about Teofimo Lopez. Why would Jaron Ennis go to Saudi Arabia? And the funny thing is, the people that was talking about him fighting Virgil Ortiz don't even like that they got fights in Saudi Arabia. Same people was talking about how Shakur Stevenson going to talk crazy to Tank when he's the co-main. But then you wanted Jaron Ennis to be the co-main. Like that made sense. And nobody could refute this. Why would Jaron Ennis fight Vergil Ortiz in Saudi Arabia when him and Vergil Ortiz can be a main event? Why would Jaron Ennis do that? Wouldn't you, as a fighter, much rather fight in America and be the main event than have to go to Saudi Arabia and be the co-main? Even people who was talking about when I brought that up and still wanted to say Jaron Ennis was a duck, they have nothing for that. You know what they told me? Well, Dean, we don't know if he's going to get that. So this is the only opportunity he got right now. The lie detector determined that was a lie, like I told y'all. Y'all jumped the gun. Eddie Hearn, y'all jumped the gun calling a man a duck, and Eddie Hearn jumped the gun. And how we know that's true, because when him and Oscar was talking about a 5v5, Eddie Hearn agreed to it before he even talked to the other 5 fighters that he has. That lets you know what Eddie Hearn is about. We have caught Eddie Hearn in so many lies. We have caught Eddie Hearn twisting and turning, going back on his words, saying one thing, doing another. I mean, how many examples of it do we have between Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua? How many times did Eddie Hearn say that this fight was going to happen and all this, that, and the third, and it never did, still hasn't, won't happen? So at the end of the day, Eddie Hearn, and then this is the biggest thing why y'all owe Jaron Ennis an apology, because then why would Eddie Hearn come out and then sit up there and say that that Jaron Ennis has other opportunities, but he got to deliver on a unification fight for Jaron Ennis? You mean what was the goal the whole time, like Dean told y'all, because he got one fight left? Then why didn't he has to deliver on this? Because Jaron Ennis is not under contract after this next fight, and Eddie Hearn wants to continue to do business with Jaron Ennis. So what chance does Eddie Hearn, what's the best chance Eddie Hearn has of re-signing Jaron Ennis? By getting him the unification fights. And then if he beats if he beats a Stonis or Mario Barrios, it puts all the pressure on Brian Norman Jr. and the other champion. And then I guarantee you will see the snowball effect. Because the Jaron Ennis holds 2 belts in that division, you literally can't avoid him. Oh, yeah. And Brian Norman Sr. came out and said that he willing to fight Jaron Ennis now, but then reports come out saying that behind the scenes, Brian Norman Sr. is trying to get Brian Norman Jr. a tune-up fight. I mean, and we have video evidence of him insinuating that numerous of times. Again, Vergil Ortiz is not this guy that you have to fight, especially when he turned down Jaron Ennis twice already. And the guy that Jaron Ennis is in negotiations for, I believe is better than him. And it's going to be a main event. Oh, yeah, y'all, Dean was right again. This fight, if he be a unification fight, it'd probably be back at the Wells Fargo or in Atlantic City. That's highly reported as well. So, like I said, I'm going to ask y'all again. Why would Jaron Ennis go fight in Saudi Arabia? Right? When he could fight a month or two and be the co-main. When he can fight in front of his hometown, Atlantic City or Philadelphia, doesn't matter because the same people are going to come out for it. It's still a home fight. If you're not from my area, you won't understand that. But why would he do that instead of fighting a Stonis, who's a more notable name? I mean, who's a better fighter, in my opinion, or a Mario Barrios, who's just as big of a name as Vergil Ortiz, if not bigger than Vergil Ortiz? Why wouldn't he do that and be the main event? And that it just doesn't make business sense. Do it make business sense to you? And then all of y'all talking about, well, Turkey Aliki Yashiki said this and said that, but he said everything but what he was willing to pay the man. And then y'all was sitting up there saying Jaron Ennis got his biggest payday. Then it comes to find out that they offered Jaron Ennis basically what he just made. Y'all was wrong all the way around the board. You jumped the gun. And if this unification bout gets made, I'm cooking all of y'all until you apologize. You will get flame broiled because y'all had one criteria. Well, Dean, we gonna call him a duck until he unifies. Well, it looking like what I said was going to happen is going to happen. So then you would have to take you calling him a duck back and say all of that stuff that y'all was saying was very unnecessary. Oh yeah, y'all. And then before I go, don't it look like what Jaron Ennis said was true after what Eddie Hearn came out and said, saying that he got the pressure to make the unification fight? And Jaron Ennis said that I never said that I was going to 154. They didn't run this across me and all of this, that, and the third. And then you hear a couple of weeks later that then Amontes Stenhones does an interview, and then now you hear they in negotiations and all of that. Don't it seem like what Jaron said was true? And don't say that Eddie don't lie and make his fighters look bad, because then Shakur Stevenson had a Twitter space with my man Hassan and called Eddie a liar personally. Said Eddie lied on him. I'm just saying. That's what he said. That's what the man said. He said Eddie lied on him. Which is not too hard to believe, because Eddie has to be the guy that makes himself look as if he's the guy that's not on no BS. And then sometimes that gets you in BS. See, the thing why Bob stay out of a lot of stuff, because Bob don't change his business criteria. You either going to like it or not like it, but Bob ain't doing too much different than what he normally does. Eddie likes to throw rocks and then hide his hand. Y'all owe Jaron Ennis an apology, especially if he fights a better fighter, because none of y'all would bet me money that Vergil Ortiz beat Stonis either. Don't get revisionist history now, because the narrative was Vergil Ortiz was avoiding Amontes Stenhones. We're not going to change it now. And after that Boachuk fight, when I think Amontes Stenhones is a better fighter than Boachuk, and then Vergil at 147, yeah, he was going to walk through Vergil Ortiz. That's just my opinion. If Boachuk dropped him twice, Stenhones definitely was dropping him. Definitely at 147. Because you want to know why? Because Amontes Stenhones is just a better all-around fighter than I think Boachuk and Vergil Ortiz. He has more in his toolbox. So y'all already know what this is, though, right? Dean, by any means. And I holla at y'all.